Oh, hello there. Oh my goodness. It has been a week. And as you can tell, I am in new surroundings. I am not at home. I am abroad. And I did not want to miss a time streaming. I am currently in the continent of Europe. I am somewhere in Europe. Should I tell you? Why not? I'm in Portugal. I'm in Portugal. I am live streaming here from Portugal. I feel like I should take a picture because I like to stream from other places. So let's see if I can get this quickly because let's take a selfie together as we stream. But yep, we are doing Assembly, the weekly event where we get together and build a bot together. We're gonna get a selfie together. Let's see if I can engineer a selfie with us streaming. Stream selfie. There we go. I am Drekken, and I am here to code with you to make a bot that wins. Let's do it. And we won't do our regular go into the full. Actually, I should keep my voice down too because it's kind of late here. So these walls are like paper. So I'm gonna make sure I'm not like screaming at the top of my lungs. But you should hear me just fine. So we're not gonna do our full spiel, but we're doing mob programming or pair programming, and essentially where it is like me, you together, the group, we're coding together as a whole, and we're working on our project that we're continuing on. This is coding our bot, our little probe, to get to one end of the map to the other without dying. So let's get into it. Actually, I'm not gonna take up too much time, just because again it's late here, and I don't want to piss off the neighbors by yelling and streaming and screaming and whatever. Let's just jump right into the bits and bytes of it. Let me get my chat up so that we have some chat. So you guys, if you guys talk to me or we're talking, I got us good to go. Okay, here we go. So last time when we were coding, we were working on getting the bot to not. Oops, this is my. Oops, get this. So we're working on our bot from not our probe from not dying. So let's actually just do a run through of where we were at. I'm gonna run the code, and hopefully you can see it a-okay. Just gonna make sure I have enough power on my phone so we can. Okay, so I can see chat. Chat can be seen. Good. And looking pretty healthy. Okay. So last time, what was happening is this probe is seeking to get to the end, and there is supposed to be, and whatever reason I don't see it now, is there's supposed to be. Last time we got the influence working, so I will have to figure out why there's no influence. But now we have to get this probe to this section, and we'll have to do a little bit of review on why we have no influence. But what we were trying to do is we're going to use the influence to get from making sure our probe does not actually try to go into this space where the enemy is. We got it working before I left, but that was when I was in the continent of North America, inside the country of Canada, and now I am not. And so, I mean, I guess anything can happen now. All right. Well, if you're all in the chat, whoever's in the chat, say hello if you're there. If not, when you watch this VOD, say a thumbs up or say something in the comments. Let's get some coding music going on. But I don't want it too loud. Can I get it without it being too loud? Who knows? Oh. Gotta bring that music down. Oh. So this probe is still exploring. Hello, Dog Tato. Hello, I see you. I see you on my second screen, aka my phone. if you can give me, Dog Tato, a little bit of an idea how the stream looks, because the last time I streamed from abroad, oh, okay, so the probe died. So the last time I streamed abroad, it was kind of janky and it wasn't too crisp and clear, but from my end, it looks pretty good, and hopefully from everyone else's end, it looks good as well. So, I'm actually going to also turn on. Do I not have okay, good. Dog Tato says it's good. I'm happy to hear it's good. That makes me ecstatic. Hopefully the music is actually not too loud. I'm actually going to try to turn it down just a bit so it's not. And make sure I can also type in the chat. Test. All right. You know what? This is looking pretty stable. I'm happy. And my camera's looking good. Okay. So, I should still be able to do this code together. So if anyone joins me in the chat, it is possible. Oh, there it is. It's at the bottom. Host a new session. Okay. Provides. Yeah, sure. Exit and restart VS Code now to enabling. Oh no. I don't know if I want to. Let's see what happens. Okay, so there's a little bit of blank as I pop back up VS Code and hopefully. Okay, good. It just. Okay, Gucci. We're all Gucci. We're all Gucci. Extensions have been modified. I don't know about that. We'll see. Reload the window. Okay, so I'm gonna still put it in there because the whole point of coding together is anyone who wants to code. If you're in the membership, you can code with me. I'm gonna host a new session. Give me that. All right, we're looking good. Cool. I'm gonna throw it in our chat here in Discord, which I am somehow managing. So this particular streaming abroad has actually gone a lot better than my first iteration. If those of you remember when I was in Argentina, so if you remember when I was in Argentina, I tried to stream and it was a little bit janky, not gonna lie. It's strange because it was the same laptop, whatever. It wasn't, not much has changed specifically on my hardware front, but I did clean up my overall setup. I kind of streamlined it, so I think that seemed to work a lot better. Okay, so getting this, I'm going to do some problem solving. So I definitely recall that we have a influence map. I'm positive I put together an influence map. So is visible. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here's the influence map. We have the influence map right here. Draw debug box around the part. No. Sorry, that's not it. That's not the influence map. Where did we put this influence map? Here it is. Pro position. No. Okay, that's not it either. Draw influence in game. Here it is. So this is the influence. So set map data, draw influence grid dot self influence grid lower. Okay. So we have it here. This worked last time, but it's not working now. Maybe we can do a print statement to debug. Yeah, see, this we did this weighted 9. It worked last time. So we add the unit cost, and then if there's enemy units, it draws. Maybe let's see if we can do it without Shift Tab. Let's see if it just draws without there being enemy units. Let's see if this actually will work. If we can get if we can actually get influence to show up. So I'm not seeing any influence. Let's see, influence. Yeah, no influence. What else can we do? This worked on my Windows machine. Or maybe. So it actually, does it have to be in the for loop? No, it's not in the for loop. Should it be in the for loop though? That doesn't make sense. So you only need to show if there's enemies. Okay, let's just make sure, let's do a test to make sure that the loops are working. So print. Print F. Check enemy units. Yeah, so let's actually see if there. Let's first see if it print F and then say enemy units. So let's double check to make sure it actually is like this conditional is working. I'm gonna keep an ear on my voice, make sure I'm not too loud. Just because Portugal's end of time is 10 p.m. and it is like 11:22 here, and if I start yelling, I will get in trouble, and I don't want to do that. So, let's print. Let's run. Okay. Change threshold in the draw function to be lower. Okay, that's a good. We could try that too. Oh. Okay. So there is a Marine. It sees the Marine. No need to actually print all those enemy units. That's not necessary, but we okay. So the is enemy units is triggering. Let's try the threshold to be lower. Let's try 5. Let's just try an arbitrary 5. You know what, Dogtada could be right. You could be right, because I think I changed it the last minute before I left, so that it would be equal to 10. You know what? I think Dogtada, I think you got it. I think you are correct. Let's find out. Oh, shit. No. Oh my god. He's right. Yeah. Dogtada was right. You a genius, my friend. You a genius. Okay. So he's right. Because, and so what happened? And this is the problem when this is the mistake I make, where I said, oh, I shouldn't leave for working code. I should always leave for working code. Is that it printed 11. It printed 11 before we went. And then I was like, oh, I want it to be 10. And we realized it needed to be, because the default is like 1. And so it adds one number on it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just make sure it's 10, and then I left it, and I just didn't, I guess I didn't check before I left. I was just like, okay, whatever. And then which means now we should have a threshold. I just put it to 9, which means it'll be 10, and so we just have the threshold we need. But yeah, so if it's 10, it's not going to draw. So I mean, well, it wasn't going to draw before. So let's double check, and we'll work with this. Okay. Okay, there we go. So we got that working. That's good. I think we have a bit of a performance issue, though. So yeah, we have a bit of a performance issue. This is a weird influence right here. Look at this one. This is like... It's fine, though. It's fine. I will... Yeah, that one's right, but this was a weird influence. This is like a very odd influence. Okay. So we have a bit of a performance issue. So we want to solve that before. Oh, let's double check to make sure I'm not like it was telling me to like keep it down or anything. I'm not talking that loud, but these walls here in Portugal are super thin, and I have my earphones in. The default is 1 to account for the cost of traveling further, since ultimately is trying to find the lowest total weight path. Yeah. Okay. So we just want this to be a little bit more. A little bit more performant. What might be a good way to do that? Perhaps we might want to only draw the influence if... Yeah, okay, so actually it said only draw if the unit is visible. So actually this was my to-do. I actually remembered that this was performant. So let's say like if... So it's something like if only draw if, so something like draw influence if the enemy unit is close to the probe. So something like, I mean, isn't everything visible though? Yeah, everything is visible. That's why we can't use everything is visible. That's not gonna be viable because everything is. Okay, so you could draw every other frame. Actually, I'm not familiar how to do it. I was just gonna say if the probe is near. So something like close to, probably if self dot enemy, no, self dot enemy closest to, if probe dot position, so something like, is it self dot probe? What is this? Yes. What is this probe? It's self dot probe tag. What if like, what is it? Self dot. We have this down here. Probe equals self dot units probe tag. So I actually do this. If I did something like this, if I just move this underneath. We'll go something like this, and then we'll go like here, and then we'll go like there, and then be like, okay. If step percent equals to draw. Yeah, I just actually gonna do the probe. I'm gonna do the enemy to the distance to the enemy. I think that might be the best way. So we'll go like something like if probe dot position, the distance to, closest to, is it dot distance Is it position? Is it position? And then that position, or is it POS? Is it position dot distance to self dot enemy units. No, unit in self dot enemy unit. Yeah, so if it's like unit dot position. That's not is it like maybe 10? If probe distance to enemy, if probe distance to unit dot position is less than 5, then draw. Close to there. Let's try 5, if that's enough. Oh, you're right. It's outside of the for loop. You are correct. And yet it did not crash. Strange. It is outside the for loop now, so I imagine it won't trigger. I wonder if I should, if I put it in the for loop, will that just work? If it goes and then it goes, maybe if I just put it in the for loop, will it work like this? If I just say for unit draw, and then if probe is close to enemy unit, draw the influence. Let's see what happens. Maybe I should have increased it. I will draw for every enemy unless there's some sort of protection, what I doubt. Okay, well, let's see what happens. You might be correct. My hope is that when we get close, and then the next thing after we do this, oh, is it close enough to trigger it? We'll see what happens. Maybe 5 is not big enough. Maybe we need to do 10 and our 20, and then maybe think of it a different way to approach it. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's not going that direction yet. Nope. Oh. Oh, 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 oh. Ah, there it is. Hey, it worked. Cool, it worked. Okay, so that works. Might increase the distance to be 10. Greater than and equal to. So yeah, that worked. So let's say 10. Okay, cool. All right. No need to have the question mark. That's what it does. Okay, so what we want to do. Ooh, pardon me. The next step is we want to actually avoid influence in our movement. And today's gonna be a short stream session. It won't be very long, just because I do have to wake up and go to the airport tomorrow. But I didn't want to get a stream in because I do want to always make sure I'm streaming every week. So let's see if we can get just a little bit done. Because even if we just get a little bit done, that would be really good. Okay, so this is actually where are we? Where's our... It's like, we'll do this in stages. I might actually only spend one more coding session of this next week. And then we'll call this done. And then we'll move on to the next project, which is a micro bot for the new micro ladder. But for now, okay, so how are we doing this? Been a while since I looked at this. Where is the... What was this again? Oh, this is when you were trying to make a debug. So I figured it. I don't. This is a random secret location. We probably don't even need this anymore. Yeah, I remember what this was all about. Probably don't need this anymore, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So let's talking about how we find our point. Scout station. Actually, I should keep out just to make sure I'm not talking to and disturbing my neighbors. Last scout position. Get next destination. Move scout to destination. Okay, so that's how we're doing it. Maybe I should then do something in get next destination. Yeah, I will probably delete it when I'm on the plane. Because I'll have time to kind of clean this up when I'm on the plane. That's right, I'll be coding while on an airplane. So probably I should be in the how we get our next point. Then maybe we should do something like we check the point. See if the point has influence, and if the influence is, you know, if it has greater than 1 influence, or if it has 10 influence, then skip. You want to skip the point? It might make sense for us if we check for influence, and then if the influence is greater than 10, or sorry, if the influence is 10, we avoid that situation. So we could actually do something similar to when we avoided the points that were what was it where we were trying to check for the terrain when it was making sure we weren't walking into unwalkable terrain. We could actually do something like that too. Where was that set? Where did we do that? Was it here? I think it was in the get next position. Ride nearest unvisited. It's on step. Oh, what did we do on step? Oh goodness. Ooh. Ooh. Probe equals if probe and probe position not in self path dependent probe position is where did we do? So I remember we did something where we checked if it was an even number or not. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This is where we did it. Found it. Okay. I could probably modify this. So if last scout position and self scout position distance to probe is less than 0.1, remove scout position from destination. So we could actually in unvisited position in on start. I think it's this, but isn't it this? I'm actually gonna put some comments here, so just in case, this is make sure probe doesn't go in unwalkable position. I think that's what this was. He says it's unvisited, so it's like this. I'm pretty sure it's this part here. And I think we could modify this. So we go if so we actually maybe do an if position and go unwalkable position or dangerous position. So something like this. Go if oh, it's making position. Where was and where am I thinking of? There's a part where we created where it was checking if area was walkable. Oh. Or did we do it in the actual? Oh no, okay. You know what? I'm gonna actually get rid of this, but this is actually throwing me off a bit. Wait, was I allowed to? Was that something I could actually fit random location? Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Okay, these are all stuff to draw. The next position. Remove current position from visit. Try unvisited remove rounded. Was it this? I think it was this. Dog said it was on start where it initiates. Oh, on start. I'm looking on step. On start. Self map data. Grid gets the pi star grid. If self.maps. If self.map data. So if we have the map data. Self.probe tag equals da 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 da. Oh, this needs to go too, because this is not really necessary. So for X in grid shape, for Y in range grid shape 1, coordinates equals XY, points equals point coords, if grid point, self unvisited position, append point. This is on start. Add influence to enemy. So I don't know if we want to do it on start. Right now I don't want to do it on start. That's not make sense. So we're either going to want to do it in when we're looking for the new location. So exposition. Okay. Or unvisited in self position, distance to position to the if distance is closest to distance, if distance equals 1. Oh, maybe we want to do it in here. If this, here it is. This is where we want to do it. It's in here. This is where we want to do. If distance equals 1, break. Was 1 unpathable? What if we said if distance equals 1 greater than 1? What if we just said something as simple as like, I can't remember, did 1 mean unpathable? I think so. Maybe, how did we check influence again? Maybe that's the part that I'm missing in my head. How do we check for influence? We need to... Isn't this checking for influence? Distance to... How is distance? What do we... Distance equals unit position distance to unvisited. And then unvisited equals... Is that just a coordinated? I don't need to check for a closer spot because this is immediately adjacent. Oh, 1 means adjacent. Yeah, okay. You know what, Dr. Alice, would be a lot easier if you were in voice than me reading your chat. Because I'm also a little bit sleepy on my end. Okay. So let's say this gets next position. So this is not checking for influence. That's actually checking for distance. How did we... I just want to see, how did we use the influence grid before? Let's go search influence. Add step, influence grid. Influence grid. Other than obviously adding cost. So we said influence grid because this is, we use this, and I'm trying to remember how we used this before. Check the influence at the start of the loop and continues if it's high. Which loop though? Grid dot shape. Is this where we did the initial? For X in grid dot shape, for Y in grid. I feel like this was... I find it's odd that we did this on start. Because... So here it is on step. Here it is. This is like influence grid equals self dot dot pi star. Oh, but that's how I got the influence designed. We have this grid here using pi star. Grid dot shape. What does shape mean? I don't think I've ever used grid dot shape before. But I think we used this to make sure we skipped over. This is what we used, I think, to make sure we skipped over. That's just a clean. Okay, I got it. Okay, so that's just a clean influence grid used in here, and then that grid is like grid dot shape. Okay. So why don't we go something like I'm actually gonna pop this in one of my AIs. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Like, we're actually going through each one. So actually what we need to do is add another statement that says, all right, are we, if actually put this in chat so I can just get like a good feedback loop going on. I want to have my probe check if the influence is 10 for choosing next location. It's 10 and skip that position. I want to do it in there. Get next position. So next position. Try. And then we can bring the influence in here. For position in influence, unvisited position. Influence equals alpha the influence. I just make like a little shortcut of influence. If it 10. Don't you have to bring it as a grid though? Interesting. Oh, and you did a return. It doesn't return none. Interesting. So it does it even before it checks. It's an interesting way of doing it. See, that's the thing I was forgetting. It's like, how is that actually? Because I don't know if it's taking into like. I feel like you have to check the grid. You know what? I'm going to use this. We're going to put this in here, and then I'm going to work from it. Because I don't think the AI knows how to use NumPy and check for influence. I think it just came up with like a. It came up with like a. What do you say? Like a. What it thinks is the best solution, even though I don't think that is taking into consideration. You know, the grid itself. Like, did it even in this solution? Did it even check the? You know what? Why don't we pull up some documentation? Yeah, let's just give me a second. Let's pull up some documentation. I guess that's part of this too. Is that I have not interacted with this outside of Eris framework. So let's go to the SC2 analysis, and let's just see how it says we should be using. This is a great learning opportunity because I've not interacted with it outside of Eris, and so this is good for us to play around with. I'm gonna actually give me a second, guys. I'm gonna find the actual documentation, and then I'm gonna put it up on the screen once I have it. Because this was a good learning opportunity for everybody. I'm actually gonna pop up. I also want to pop up a test, or not test, a example bot. Because if I have an example bot, we can actually reverse engineer how some bots will so I'm going to share my screen, but I want to have an example bot up. Duplicate. Or not share my screen, I want to share my window. And I'm gonna. Okay, I think this is okay to share. Let's see if I have a. Do I not have a share window thing here? Let's capture a window. Let's try this window capture. Create a new one, and let's say browser. Capture my browser so that we have. Oop, that's like a full window. Oh, jeez. Like a. Okay. Should be able to work with this, I think. Okay. We'll work with this. You can see what I'm looking at, and we'll work with this. See if I change windows. Okay, good. If I change windows, you can see the windows. All right. So. How-to recipes. Find off a wall-off building. Plot a debug the pather. Our main to the enemy's main. What does this do? So custom cost. We've already done this, which is good. That's okay. We've already done costs, so we've done that already. Map panel import. We did this. Util. Your path. Bot equals bot distance. Map data. Okay, that's not useful. Okay, there might be an example bot in here we can maybe take apart. So there's like this mass reaper bot. Let's take a look. Well, don't worry, Dog Teta. We're both going to kind of do a little bit of learning here. I myself not actually, like I said, when I work with this, kind of work with Ares, and the whole idea of doing this was getting an opportunity to kind of get under the hood, even for me, so I can get a little bit of a deeper understanding of how it works. And then ultimately, I think it also helps if others get to see the breakdown. This may not do. This may not be what I'm looking for. This is like a full. This is actually like an actual full bot. I actually thought this was gonna be a simplistic bot. Oh, you know what has a simplistic bot? The initial, Here we go. The initial repo has an example bot in here, if I remember correctly, that we could probably look at. Is it in tests? Mock setup, test suite, pathing, test pathing. Test climber grid. Bias chart, pathfinder, get climber grid. So it looks like map data actually has a couple additional. So maybe there's like a get. His documentation so terrible. There might be like a get value that we can check in the map data or in a grid. Mineral walls, test passing, test handle out of bound values, test illegal weights. Map data.bot.town halls. So look at that. This is map data where all. So what if we did something like this? A little bit of experimentation. Actually, before I jump back into it, let's keep. So if we like map data, you can actually get a couple of stuff from the map data. So you've mapped data at cost, mapped data at path find, influence grid, map data at cost, find lowest cost point. So we could probably use some stuff from the map data to find what we're looking for. We get our influence grid, we take our influence grid, and then maybe find lowest cost. So, we could do something like this. We could do like safe points or non-safe point. There must be a find highest cost or find cost. Probably do that, and that would probably work. Did they put this in a? Because you could check if we can maybe make like you can do like an actual like a. Oh my god, I'm getting tired. We'll have to end this very soon. I'm sorry to fade away, but we could do a function that checks if it's like, oh, you know, what's the influence here? This has a helper function to help you find the cost points, but not tell you the cost of a given point. What if, let's test what it has. Let's let me briefly turn off this desktop for a browser for a sec so you can see. Yeah, we could probably do that. Let's do something. Let's do like a. Let's go. We'll go something like def check safe points. We'll go something like this. Check. Oops. Check safe positions. Sure. And something like check safe positions and in say something like safe POS equals self.map data. Is get cost a thing? So it does not say. Is it lower cost? Get lower cost? What else does it have? What did it use? Find lower cost. Find lowest cost. Can we say something like a find? Oh, just that's all we have. Find lower. Can we? Is there a check? Check. Nope. Find. You could get a list of low cost points near the probe, and then when looping over on visitor, maybe. Self.map data. Okay, let's go back to the. Let's go back to the example. Let's see if we can how to read the. I want to figure out how to read the grid directly. Let's go back to that. Let's keep looking through some examples, and I think if we keep looking through some examples, we'll find something else that can. There's add cost, find lowest cost position. Let's check some of the other submock setup, path and grid. I don't know what this is. Test suite. Get map ramps. Okay, map chokes. Is there anything else that might map data indices to points? Indices to points? And then there's points to indices. What does that mean? Points to indices? I will need to investigate that in a sec. Be worth looking into. I know there's an example bot in here somewhere. Dummy bot, here it is. Dummy bot, found it. Okay. We're all. Oh, self dot. We're all. Maybe. Not map. We're all. That's probably just like the exact position in the map. Maybe not. Map data distance. Do a distance. You can do a distance check. Maybe do that. Influence point. Here we go. Self.influence points equals self.ramp top center. Well, that's adding. So self.influence get random influence. Self.path find. Maybe path find. Oh, this is to get the actual path. This is like it's calculating a path to where it wants to go. This could be useful later, actually. We might want to use that later, but not now. That's useful to know. What else can we do? Self.map on step. Bot.town hall ready first position. We're all. These are all the positions. List points on the regions. Regions.points. List points. Oh, that's like the actual locations in the thing. Okay, got it. Oh my god, it's the doctor. Doctor, man. It has been, you're right, it has been a while. Holy crap. You caught us in the middle of going through some of the map analyzer data. It has been. Are you still around, my dude? Are you still making bots? What's the deal? What are you up to these days? Catch me up to what's happening in your life while I keep digging through this see if I can find what. Oh, you can do distance, so you can go like. So it's like map data. What if we something like? Let's quickly turn off this for a sec. I'm gonna try something. I look in SC2 bot chat from time to time. My dude, it has been forever. I hope you are still coding or at least hanging about. Like. Maybe do some casting if you're up to it. You can come back to do some casting. So if it's like, what if it's like distance? Oh, so we could do that. So it's like self-map data dot distance, but you need to give it 2 points. So maybe that's not what we want to do. So we don't want to. You just want to check. We don't want to. We don't actually. Safe positions equals. I admit, my brain is not working right now. Maybe this is not the right way to go about this. Okay, so we'll quickly just sit in this chat for a second. Yeah, casting could be fun. I'm sure my mind would be blown by from the bot. Yeah, man, these bots have gotten so intense. I haven't done too much SC2 bots. I'm waiting for GPUs to get cheap enough to train my own DeepMind style. Ooh. Yo, Ian, listen, real talk. I've been my next one of my next things is we're gonna do I want to do do some reinforcement learning. So I'm thinking of doing like a shared pool of GPU, cloud GPU. So if people want to go in on it, we can do some cloud training. Yeah, pathfinding is a complex topic, so we're digging into it. It's yeah, we may not solve this tonight. I'll be more honest than not, or I'm saying I don't know if we're going to solve this tonight. I did want to make a little bit progress. Even if we get the way that we can, and we'll set like let's set like this really easy goal of just figuring out how to read the influence itself. And if we can solve that tonight, that would be a really good solution. And I will call it a night if I can figure that out, of just how to, you know, essentially, we got the influence down. We figured out the influence. Bam. How do we get our unit? And we can work this backwards, right? We want our unit to check influence. So it should be the grid, obviously. So you know the answer is it needs to look into the grid and see what's in the grid and check if the grid is, before it checks its next position. So before it gets next position, it has to check the grid, see if the grid is high influence, right? If we were to map this out, that's it. That's all we have to do. We just be able to check the grid. That's going to have to be accessing the data. So let's see what we have. So, and you'll have to forgive me, guys, if I don't look at the chat right away. I think I have this like little brainstorm. I want to make sure I capture it before I lose my mind. Okay. So on step, we have the influence grid, and it's a numpy array, and it gets the grid thing, and then it adds influence. So we go self.map data, draw influence, not draw, sorry, add cost. And we're like, okay, and so we use the map data to add the cost. So there might be a way for us to use self.map data to also check the cost, and we have to say which grid. So there must be something that lets us, and I feel like if I just was able to access the self.map data better, I would be able to understand this. But so there is like, it's going to be like self.map data something, like either self.map data, I don't know. I could just go to the helpers and see which one like clicks. Or we can, you know, go through some of the, so get next position. Is that a thing? Let's find out. Okay, it seems like you might be able to check the influence grid with just grid X and Y. Get next position. Pass it to the grid. How, wait, is it self.map data? How do you check that? Okay, it seems you might be able to check the influence grid with just grid X and Y. Really? Get next position, pass it to the grid. Is that self.map data or position? Self.influence grid. I mean, we could just check the grid like that? Is it just so straightforward? We just check the grid? It almost sounds almost too straightforward. Or maybe it is so simple. Okay, let's dig into that. Maybe we can, there's something for that. So, in our get next position, so something like, oh, Get next position. Could the AI have been correct? Maybe the AI was correct. Because in the get next position, it's like, oh, or position in self unvisited position, da da da. But it was like, it's so funny. It may actually be right. Oh my god, it was. That's what it fucking was saying too. Oh my god. Oh my god. It may actually, the AI may have actually gave us the answer this entire time, and I was like, oh no, that sounds too simplistic. There's no way that's gonna work. Yeah, so where's the thing I was getting? There's no way. I was like, oh, there's no way that could be the case. That's way too simple. I'm like, this AI doesn't know what the fuck it's talking about. Turns out that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. The AI actually knew exactly what it was talking about. It's like, okay. So it was saying we should actually do something in here where it actually returns a position and return none. Okay, I'm just gonna copy pasta this, and then we'll see it, and if it doesn't kind of like jive, we will I mean oh, why is it return none? If no valid position, return none or handle currently. Just kind of maybe just get rid of this. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need you to not. I don't like. Okay. I am feeling it. We'll run this. If it works, kinda, then we'll kind of. I'll leave it for that for tonight, and then we'll work on something else after that. But for now, let's see what happens here. First, oh yeah, something also works. For copy, that does it, but removes the nearest distant logic. First line inside the for loop checks the grid and continues if it's too high. Okay. Oh, what's going on here? Uh-oh. Oh, no. Go, go, go. Okay. Okay. So actually, I think you're what Dog Talo was saying. I actually should put it in the loop here because we're already doing something down here. Or position in self unvisited. So it's still actually this. I could actually maybe do it in here. So unvisited in self unvisited position. And then we could maybe do something like this. What if we did this? Why don't we do something like this? What if we're like, oh, okay. And I'm just gonna be riffing right now, boys. Let me just riff with you a little bit. What if we're like, what if I said something like this? What if I was like, we'll use our current loop structure. I'm gonna actually get rid of this stuff here. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I get it, I know what you're saying. You wanted it actually to be unvisited position instead. Influence equals self-influence grid. And then what if we're like, continue? What if we just said like else if? An else if? My brain has stopped working. Okay, we'll try this. And if it breaks, then I think this works though. In my mind, this works, but I am not cognizant. So let's see. I feel really good about this though. Let's see what happens. And if not, I'll put a to do because I feel like we're closer than we were before. Oh, the secret location thing is still here somewhere. I broke it. Oh my god, I have to fucking delete that somewhere. I should secret. Okay, yes, that needs to go. All right, it's gone. Let's try this again. Okay, and then tomorrow I get onto a plane, and I got a long flight ahead of me. Okay, it's moving. Okay. It's a little slow, though. It's okay. Let's see what happens. It's not going as fast as it did before, but I guess it's because it's checking every position if it's the X and Y against the grid. We can make it a little bit more efficient later. I just want to get the thing accomplished, and if it does it, then kudos to everybody, right? And we actually don't have to do pathfinding like this now anymore. We can actually try to take a path straight. We can actually use the map data and do a path, which is what we'll do. We'll use the path. We'll get a where all enemy base, and then we'll actually take a path. We'll create a path using the data after, but that is not right now, and that's not today. But we'll use the where all for the first location, or the main base, and then we'll send the probe straight there next time. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see. It might skip it. See what happens. Yeah. Oh my gosh, guys, did we do it? Let's find out. I don't know why. I don't know why it's slowed down. This is going to require a little bit of another look, but it's slowed down a considerable amount. And yeah, it should be very cheap to check just an XY thing. Okay, come on. Let's see if he will. Yeah, he's slowed down considerably. Oh, here it comes, guys. Here it comes. Okay, so he's staying out of the range. I mean, it works, but I mean, he got too close. He stayed out of it though. So the good news is he didn't go into it, but we have to kind of like, okay, well, okay, that's a win because unfortunately for our AI, it's like, oh, I'm gonna check this influence. Oh, this influence takes me into the path of my enemy. Oh goodness. So let's put a to do on that. That's actually a lot of good progress there. So let's go. So checks if it influences enemy unit, and then we'll put like a to do. Increase the distance to check or influence. Okay. So yeah, it's a partial victory. It's a good win. Okay. So that's a good place. Let's commit that. Added influence. No, we already added influence. We added influence check. Probe. That's a really good win right there. Let's commit that. And sync that change. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. Okay. That's oof. All right. Yeah, we'll make the radius wider. And I think if we do that, we can change add cost to make a buffer to attack range. I think if we just do the, I think we just do like yeah, you could do the, you could add the buffer. Okay, so that's an easy way through it. You could just increase the, actually go to the little solo camera. Yeah, you could just increase the radius around influence, opposed to being the exact range enemy unit. You have like the range and plus some, or you could like maybe have it check one square ahead of the one square ahead of the x and y. So x and y plus one, maybe x and y plus one. Maybe that's enough. So you know, just outside of the radius might be enough. Okay. I have a plane tomorrow, everybody. It has been great. I will see you next week. It has been fun. I think we made a lot of progress. Yeah, so make sure. I actually know I have to do all my shout outs for those who don't. Make sure you check out my newsletter. I just dropped a new review this week. Pretty proud of it. It's you can actually see the previous ones on versus.ai. Oh yeah, yeah. Dogtitle might be right. Maybe we just add to the thing. Though the doc, we should talk later. I think we can connect, and I'd love to if you know the next season of Pro Bots if you'd be up to maybe doing some casting with us as well. That'd be fun. But anyways, yeah, I started a newsletter which I basically been documenting all the stuff that I've been learning here. Plus, some I've been collecting articles, and I'm also been summarizing some of the papers that I've come across. Uh, Basically, look, I'm trying to cut down so you don't have to do all the learning. I mean, you don't have to do all the searching. I'm trying to find all the best timbits in bot making and putting in a newsletter. I just put the link there. So be sure to join. And if you want to be, yeah, that'd be cool. You think about it. You do what needs to be done, doc. And then, yeah. Then, what else is there? Ooh, an AI startup. I'd like to hear more. Kind of startup. I mean, everything's an AI startup these days. I mean, even this is technically an AI startup. We build the best bots in the entire world. Um, and then, what else is there? Yeah. Oh, I guess there's really a lot of already all the links there. Okay. So, turn up. Oh, if you want to, I guess if you want to get a template, I don't even remember what the template is. Xmarch template for those of you who are watching later. If you're watching later, there's going to be a template link in the description. It has been fantastic. I am going to go on a plane, but I'll be back next week, Monday. And oh yes, it was exclamation mark template matrix. Also, Doc, I'm also looking for people to help with um, some some bot help or some bot mentorship. If you need some, we can talk. Let's connect. I'd like to. We can make. I can make it worth the time that you spend. Okay, cool. everyone else, have a good night or day or whatever it is, and I will see you back in the North American time zone. You're all fantastic. Mwah, you're the greatest. I will see you guys later. Music.